In the last few years, I've worked in the typical coffee shops, Mexican food place, basically the jobs at the shopping centers, and I didn't really question it when I was growing up, but now I'm realizing it's kind of strange, isn't it? Like, we work all that time and we work these jobs that we don't really like, and they kind of affect us emotionally, like mental health wise, and all for it. We go through all of that, and then we get excited about 4 weeks holiday. What? That doesn't make sense. But obviously, if that's all you've ever known, then you wouldn't really question it. And you're right.
Is that your dog?
Oh, that wasn't my dog. No, I think it was. The owner turned around one moment and yeah, she lost her dog. No, bless you.
Oh.
Yeah, beautiful day.
I'll let you off then now. Yeah, it's not me with the dog. Come on, you stay, Mummy.
So then, I remember a couple of years ago, I had like a 4-day holiday. 4 days holiday, that's quite the luxury, but I spent it up north in the UK, and I went with my friend, and we did like the mountains. We went like searching for waterfalls, and then on top of the mountain, we did like a run, like a 5-kilometer run, and then after our run, we had a meditation at the top of the mountain, and you could just. Absolutely beautiful. And then the next day, I was back to serving coffee, and it was so crap. It was so crap. I wasn't even away. I wasn't out in Asia or like wherever. I don't even know where these degenerate places are, bro. But I wasn't even like 13 hours away. I was literally just up the country, and it was beautiful. Like, but just that shift, you know how you were just meditating on the mountains and finding yourself, and the next day you're serving coffee. It's quite the shift from going from something like you want to do to something you don't want to do. And I never really questioned it, and it's only recently that I'm starting to question these, you know, like the common structures in society. That sounds quite deep, but literally, like, we don't really question it. You know, go to school, go to uni, get a job that you don't really like, but you know, you have pressures from your parents and society. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's not as deep as it sounds, but we don't question it. Oops. I just tripped, but so this has me thinking about the point of, what's the point of going on holiday if you're broke? Like seriously, like, and I know that people who watch YouTube videos aren't very smart, or like, they may be smart, but during those moments where they're consuming, they're not really the brightest, are they? So I had to give a disclaimer, like, fair enough, if you want to go on holiday, go on holiday. I'm just a YouTube video. If you're rich, then go on holiday. And if you need to go on holiday because you need to see a family member, then obviously, I'm a YouTube video, mate. Like, why are you taking me so seriously? But my reasoning behind this is that, what's the point of going on holiday if once you come back to your job that you don't really like, what's the point? What is the point? And I know you're meant to, like, oh, you only live once and you're only young once, and you know, you need to go on holiday so you can experience life. But the people who are giving those advice are the people twice your age, and they don't really like their lives because they was taking holidays when they were younger, and they weren't really building anything. They weren't really building anything that would help them be successful to the point where you don't need to rely your happiness on 4 weeks holiday and then come back to the shopping center job that you don't really like. I've seen it. I'm in my 20s right now, and I've seen it with the people I'm around, the people that I used to call my friends. I've seen it where they would go on a lad's holiday and they would kind of enjoy it, but towards the end of their holiday, because they realize they got to go back to their crap job, that takes away from the holiday. Like half the holiday is kind of like being sad that they have to go back to their regular life. And that's so, you're not even using your holiday for the thing you were meant to use it for, which was to like forget about it all. Because half the time that they're on holiday, they're thinking about going back to the job that they don't like. And as I mentioned, I've had the shopping center jobs, and I've experienced, you know, the people that I work with, I've experienced it where they would go on holiday, they would have a really good time, and then when they would come back, all they would do during the shift is complain that they're not on holiday, or complain that they just had such a good time and now they're back here working the job that they don't like. And you must see the cycle. You must see these cycles in your own life, whether it's people in public, people you know, and it's just kind of like this cycle where they go on holiday to forget about the job they don't like, and they come back from holiday and they go back to the job they don't like, and they need now then and the thing is, because they want to go on more holidays to forget about the job they don't like, they have to get extra hours at the job they don't like. How stupid is this cycle? Like, honestly, to go on holiday, you gotta work extra hours at the job you don't like, and the reason why you want to go on holiday is to escape that job you don't like. What is this? What kind of a, you know when they say rat race, I don't really believe in that, but now I'm really starting to see what they mean when they say things like rat race and escape the matrix. I've never really resonated with that escape the matrix type message, but when you like break it down, it's kind of, it doesn't make sense. So a way that I want to avoid that, because it seems like it just seems like a thing that is happening. I don't know, it's happening a lot. I wouldn't say it's happening to everyone, but it's happening a lot. The cycle of going on holiday to get away from a job they don't like, and to go on that holiday they must work extra hours at the job they don't like. What if your job, like the work you do every day, what if that was your holiday? What if you enjoyed it so much that you actually don't want to get out of the country because that would take away from the thing you enjoy the most, which is your work? Obviously, I don't mean, like, it's not just easy to make the thing you like your work. But what if you didn't feel the need to have vices or to get away because the thing you did every day with your work was fulfilling enough, was so fulfilling that it felt like a holiday? So now you're working for free, essentially. And that's what I'm trying to craft in my life. Look how beautiful this is, man. That's why I'm trying to craft it in my life, where make my passion, make my fulfilling thing the thing that I get to do every day, so I don't need the escape.
Yeah, that's
and you don't really question it. Let's start to question it, because I see it in the other young people in my life. I see it in people twice my age in the shopping center jobs, and it's just a crap cycle. It's you alright, mate? Then so I'm talking about people, I'm talking about my situations in the shopping center and these jobs where I don't really like that much. But I've seen it where people are trying to start their own business. People are starting to, I don't know, become a musician, or like be creative some sort, or even just post on Instagram. And whatever it is, whatever that thing you're trying to build is, if you're really serious about it, if you're really serious about making the millions per month and all the escape the matrix, be the top 1% type content you watch on YouTube, if you want all of those and you're going on holiday, nah, but I don't believe in you. If you're starting a clothing brand or any other business and you're also going on holiday, I do not believe in you. Like, you know how hard it is to, I'm not even talking about like making millions, 10 steps before that, you know how hard it is to sit down at your desk and concentrate for 30 minutes, let alone an hour. You know how hard it is just to sit down at your desk to work on some documents. What? Of course, a holiday is going to be much more fun than working on documents. If all your attention is not on making your thing successful, and you're going on holiday, I do not believe in you. It's so hard to get something successful. It's so hard to make something it's so hard to make something successful. And not only like does it cost money to go on holiday, but it's the time you're not working on your thing. That's what's gonna cost you more. The distractions, the hangovers, the hangover recovery that you gotta do at these holidays. You're not gonna be sharp to make your business a success. And I really want you to, well, any advice you hear, even from a YouTube video, you should question that 100%. But there are advices you get that sounds cool. Like maybe they're from like people in your life, or like your manager at work, or someone with a little bit of authority, right? They give you like an advice and it sounds good, but you gotta really question if their life is what you want before you take on their advice. When I was working in the Mexican food place a couple months ago, there was this there's this like lady, and she's like, she's not my store manager, she's like the level above, so she like handles all the other different Mexican food places in the region. So she's kind of like the manager's manager. And I met her, And the only reason why she came in on my shift that day was so she could teach me how to roll burritos, right? Like, literally, she came down to make sure I was making good burritos. Like, simple as, and fair enough, you know, I'm at this day job, I need to learn that. Like, I'm not better than that, so let me listen. But when I met her, yeah, she just kept giving me advice. She just kept giving me advice about how I should do last minute traveling. You know, that kind of like, oh, last minute getaway to Paris and it's super cheap and spontaneous. Like, she didn't even like listen to anything. She didn't know anything about me. Like, she didn't ask like, oh, what are you planning to do, or like, how are you, or like, she wasn't really like interested in me. As soon as I met her, she kept telling me about how good it is to do the last minute travels, and that, you know, you're young, so you should do it. Like, she was giving me the speech, even though she didn't really, like, she didn't know anything about me. Like, she just met me. Like, she just met me. And I'm glad I questioned it. I'm glad I questioned her advice about how, go on holiday because you're young. Because before, like an authority figure like that, you know, the manager's manager, I would just assume like, oh yeah, she's right. You know, she's levels above me, so she's right. Even though she's giving me advice on things that aren't related to burritos, she's right. That's what I would used to think before. I wouldn't even question authority. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would just, yep, she's right. She knows burritos, so she knows about this holiday thing as well. But recently I've started to question, like, bro, like, even if someone's a professional in their field, or if someone's a very nicely spoken YouTube video, then that doesn't mean anything. You should still question it. You should still question it. And why that, like, that's why I'm glad I questioned her advice of, bro, you're so young, like, you should just go on holiday last minute, it's so cheap. Like, I'm really glad I questioned it, because, well, obviously she just met me. She didn't understand what I was trying to do with my own life. She didn't ask. So, like, she didn't even know if my advice was any good. She didn't know if her advice to me was, like, appropriate or relevant, because she didn't know my situation, simply putting it. And then I'm glad I questioned it, because she's just projecting. She's just projecting because she didn't do last minute traveling when she was younger. She's trying to make up for it by telling me, other young people, to go on last minute travels because she didn't do it as much when she was younger, so she regrets it. So now she's projecting on to us. That's why she was giving us the advice, not because she thinks that's the best for my situation at the moment. She just did it because she had regrets in her life. See what I mean? So people giving advice, and even if they're higher level, that doesn't mean anything. But so obviously this me telling you, like, to not go on holidays, that's very it's kind of extreme, and you're gonna hear other competing advice. You're gonna hear people say the opposite of what I'm saying. You're gonna hear them say, YOLO, man, you only live once, you're so young, holidays, Just be careful, because normally the people who tell you to only live once, they did that, and now they're kind of a bit chubbier than they would like, or now their wife doesn't respect them as much because they've been watching a lot of porn. So then, yeah, like, just be careful when people give you the advice, like, yeah, bro, yeah, like, who cares? Oh yeah, like who cares? Yeah, live once, spend all your money, gamble. You just gotta make sure, like, do you want their life in that area? Do you want their life in the area that they're advising on? Escape the cycle of going on holiday to escape the job you don't like, and the only way you can go on those holidays is by working extra hours at the job you don't like. Escape that by crafting your life so that you can do fulfilling work every day, to the point where the work you do every day feels like a holiday and you don't need the vices or the holidays or the gambling. Thank you.